In life, we're all gonna have things that we don't necessarily want to do, especially when things are important, but you can put them off till later. We find that procrastination is our more preferred option. The quote, "Never do today what you can put off till next week" by Student, apparently everyone says this, is a quote that I frankly disagree with. Because procrastination is never a good thing, and you should never really stick to that as you go through life. It's just gonna get you in trouble. And I can explain this through like school situations and situations at home. And we'll start with home. For instance, I've had to get my smog check on my car for the past week, and I've been putting it off, and while it may not like have any immediate repercussion, I've been getting yelled at by my mom because I'm lazy, and on top of that, like I could eventually get a ticket because I don't have that properly up to date. And another one at home is just when like, say you have to go and, taking out the trash is another one that like, we have this problem at my house where every Sunday we have to take out the trash that night, or else, like, because the garbage truck comes on Monday morning, but no one really wants to do it. So what ends up happening is when I'm coming to school Monday morning, I see that nobody did that, and then I have to go to the backyard, pull out all the trash cans, put them on the curb, and that takes about like it takes a decent amount of time, and it could cause me to be late. So putting that off can have an immediate effect on me arriving on time at school. And then let's move on to school. For school, procrastination obviously isn't a good thing. Like, you have a major final due, and you're putting it off till the very last day, and all of a sudden you find yourself that like, it's like, oh, it's due at the end of November? That's fine. I'm just gonna watch TV. It's gonna be great. And it's like, the last week of November comes, you're just like, oh, I got a whole week. It's fine. And then Friday comes, and it's like due Monday morning, and you're like, Friday, I'm gonna enjoy my Friday. And then Saturday comes, you're like, oh, I'm gonna party Saturday. And Sunday morning you wake up, and you wake up stressed, at least I do, with this like heated stress, because I know I have to do an assignment. And then there's just like this, blank situation where you're just like, oh my goodness. And then all of a sudden, like, you gotta rush this assignment. And then it turns out the assignment doesn't come out the way you really want it to be because you rushed yourself, you didn't spend the proper amount of time doing it. And you end up with a product that, at least when I rush an assignment, I'm not satisfied with. And then I may or may not get a good grade. Usually it tends to work out for the best. But another assignment that you can like relate this to would be your speech. And all of you said you were going to do a prepared speech, while most of you probably thought like, yeah, I got the weekend to do it. And then what ended up happening is most of you didn't prepare your speeches, and you ended up in the situation I'm in, which is you just gave an impromptu speech because you procrastinated. So in the end of the day, like, it's really not necessarily a bad thing to procrastinate, but it definitely doesn't have any benefits in the long run. So thank you.
I don't have another evaluation.
I'll give you Maria's.
Oh my god, I'm nervous now.
So take the topics and go out and prepare while I'm giving comments to Derrick. We'll send somebody out for you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I just looked at it. Ooh.
All right, Derrick, I like the visualization of procrastination that you had at the beginning. You have a clear point of view. There's a basic two-part preview that you've got, so the setup is pretty solid. The content, I thought, developed really nicely. You had some good illustrations, some nice details, a couple that related to this audience. I thought that was pretty effective. It's organized the way you said it was going to be, so that part's pretty good. So putting it off actually worked out well for you in this situation when it comes to the content. Presentation issues. Your voice sounds natural and appropriate for the context of the situation that we're talking in. Sometimes it's not as fluent as it could be, but it wasn't disfluent, so it wasn't a problem, but it's not consistent, and consistency is always nice. Gestures are okay, they're mostly indicators. I thought that the best visual element of the presentation was actually your facial expressions, because I think we can see how you feel about the subject on your face when you're talking about something, and you even kind of put the guilt trip on everybody about having to make that choice, and you can tell that you were both amused and embarrassed at the same time when you talked about your frustration and the stress that you go through when you've put off a project on your own and there it is Sunday and you've got to do it, and you're either disappointed in your own work or stressed out a lot. I thought you conveyed that very effectively with those expressions. Your posture was okay. Like I said, everything was very solid. I didn't see anything that's problematic. A few things that could be maybe stronger. There's a good summary at the end of the speech, but you seemed engaged and thoughtful in what you were talking about there. All right, thank you.